In 1969, Ford introduced a car that would go on to become one of the most admired coupes in all of Europe. It was sleek, attractive, affordable, and sporty. A machine that promised ordinary drivers a small taste of the American Mustang dream, but redesigned for European roads. This is the journey of the Ford Capri. The Capri was born out of Ford's desire to capture the magic of the Mustang and bring that excitement across the Atlantic to Europe. By the late 1960s, the Mustang had reshaped the American automobile market with its combination of sharp design, solid performance, and price that everyday buyers could afford. Europe, however, did not have anything quite like it. There was no mass-produced sports coupe that working-class drivers could realistically dream of buying. Ford wanted to fill that gap. The project was guided by Philip T. Clark, one of the original designers of the Mustang itself. His vision was crystal clear: create a car that embodied the Mustang spirit, but make it practical and suitable for Europe's unique conditions. Roads in Europe were narrower, fuel was pricier, and buyers demanded practicality alongside style. To keep the car affordable, Ford built the Capri on the already proven Ford Cortina platform. This decision meant the new coupe would share many parts with one of the continent's best-selling family cars. The advantage was obvious: easy maintenance, reliable performance, and spare parts available almost everywhere. This helped make the Capri both affordable and dependable, a strong selling point in the European market. From a design standpoint, the Capri made a powerful impression. It had a long, sweeping hood, a fastback roofline, and a rear-wheel drive layout, giving it the proportions and presence of a true sports coupe. When it was unveiled at the Brussels Motor Show in January of 1969, it carried an advertising slogan that captured hearts: "The car you always promised yourself." For countless European drivers, Ford really did keep that promise. The first generation of the Capri, known as the Mark I, was produced from 1969 until 1974. Right from the beginning, it was created to appeal to as many different buyers as possible. Ford offered a wide selection of trim levels and engine options. Customers could pick smaller four-cylinder models designed for daily commuting, or step up to stronger six-cylinder versions for a sportier feel. The highlight of this early era was the Capri RS2600, which came with a 2.6-liter V6 engine. It was designed specifically for motorsport, aimed at competing in the European Touring Car Championship. Not only did it perform strongly, but it also enjoyed success on the racing circuits, which helped strengthen the Capri's reputation as a serious competitor in motorsport. The sales numbers proved the point. By the end of the Mark I production run in 1974, Ford had sold more than 1.1 million Capris. This was a huge success and cemented the car's status as one of the most popular coupes of its era. An interesting side note to the Mark I story is that Ford experimented with some advanced prototypes, including models fitted with four-wheel drive. These were too costly and complex to bring into mass production, but a few of them survived and remain rare examples of Ford's early innovation. The second generation of the Capri, often called the Mark II, arrived in 1974. This version reflected the shifting tastes of the mid-1970s. It was larger, more angular, and more practical than the first model. One of the biggest changes was the introduction of a hatchback design, which made it far more practical for daily use while still keeping the sporty coupe style. Ford expanded the range to reach an even wider group of buyers. At the entry level, customers could get economical four-cylinder engines that made the Capri a sensible daily driver. At the higher end, the 3.0-liter V6 version gave plenty of power and a more thrilling drive. This wide spread of choices meant that the Capri continued to attract a very diverse customer base. But the Mark II came at a challenging time. The oil crisis of 1973 had changed buying habits, with people focusing more on fuel economy rather than big engines. Insurance costs for younger drivers in the UK also rose sharply, making sporty cars harder to afford for their traditional audience. Even so, the Capri Mark II kept a faithful following and remained a familiar sight on the roads across Europe. While it didn't reach the record-breaking sales of the first generation, it kept the model alive and successful during a difficult time in the auto industry. The third and final generation, the Capri Mark III, was launched in 1978. This version returned to a smoother, rounder design, a look that echoed back to the appeal of the original Mark I. Along with its exterior changes, Ford put effort into improving comfort, cabin design, safety features, and fuel efficiency, all things buyers expected by the late 1970s and early 1980s. The Mark III still offered a full lineup of engines, ranging from simple 4 cylinders for practical use to the powerful 3.0-liter V6 for performance lovers. During its life, Ford released several special editions that made the model even more attractive. One of the best known was the Capri 2.8 injection special, which is often remembered for its unique green paint and sporty upgrades. Produced in limited numbers, it has since become one of the most collectible Capri models. By the time production ended in 1986, Ford had sold nearly 2 million Capris across all 3 generations. This confirmed the Capri as one of Ford's most successful cars in Europe. But the market had moved on. The rise of hot hatchbacks like the Volkswagen Golf GTI offered similar performance with greater practicality, eating into the demand for coupes. In the end, the Capri moved from being a mainstream hit to becoming a cult classic admired by enthusiasts. Motorsport played a massive role in cementing the Capri's legendary status. The success of the RS2600 in the European Touring Car Championship gave the car a serious reputation, and Ford continued to build on that. The Capri went on to see victories in the German Racing Championship and the British Saloon Car Championship. Thanks to its rear-wheel drive balance and variety of engines, it became a versatile platform for racing. Independent tuners and teams also pushed the Capri further. In Germany, the famous Zakspeed racing outfit created heavily modified Capris with turbocharged engines. These were some of the most advanced touring cars of their time, and the Zakspeed Turbo Capri even won the DRM Championship in 1981. The car ES credibility grew further when high-profile drivers took the wheel. Formula One world champion Niki Lauda, for example, raced Capris in selected touring events, proving the car was more than just a stylish road vehicle. It was a true racing machine. One of the most unusual and exciting chapters in the Capri's history came from South Africa. In the early 1970s, a local engineer named Basil Green, often called the South African Carroll Shelby, built a special high-performance Capri. He fitted it with a large American V8 engine, completely transforming the car. These V8 versions offered much stronger acceleration and higher top speeds compared to the European 6-cylinder models. To handle this added power, Basil Green's cars were upgraded with stronger chassis parts, improved suspension, and bigger brakes, making sure the performance was balanced with safety and durability. These V8 Capris were produced in small numbers and were sold almost only in the South African market. For decades, they were almost unknown outside the country, which has only added to their legendary status among collectors today.